Mac Buckley here with the UCCS Athletic Network. Here we have head coach Jeff Culver, the men's basketball team. Coach, you just went into extra minutes, finished that game by 10 points. Just talk me through really that game and that intensity out there.
Well, a great win for these guys. I mean, really proud of our guys. They just battled. They knew what was at stake, and a little short-handed tonight in a long road trip. And you know, the game certainly had a lot of ebbs and flows to it, and we never got down. We always knew we were there. We never panicked, and showed great resilience, and both teams did. You know, South Dakota Mines played a great game too, and just a great win. And I think most importantly, it's great to see everybody contribute. I mean, up and down, all 11 guys gave us good minutes tonight, and really proud of them for their effort.
And Coach, just kind of talking about that, all players really contributing. The matchup on Connor Coulis really seemed to be kind of a little bit of a different story this time around versus early on in the season. Would you like to, Ed Burke getting those fouls early on, and then, just trying to find the right matchup there? He still ended up, taking away 26 points on the night, but you guys still were able to capture the win. How are you able to battle through that with that tough matchup?
Just being resilient, and we threw a lot of buys on him, and I don't know if it mattered much. I mean, he was able to score through a lot of different looks, and was good and physical around the basket. And I do think that the fact that we were able to use a handful of bodies certainly helped with our overall energy levels, and we knew that he was going to score, and he was going to get some buckets, and we just knew that we wanted to get the ball inbound quickly, push it up court, and worry about the next possession. So as difficult as we could make it for him, great, but also we wanted to try to limit some of the other weapons around him, and I thought we did a decent job of that. But again, he played great, and really attacked our bigs, and fortunately we were still able to come out on top.
Definitely, Coach. And then just talking about those weapons, you guys seem to have that three-point weapon in your back pocket, going 11 of 21 from beyond the arc there, over a 50% shooting-wise. So just seeing how that played a significant factor. That was actually one of the basket that put it into overtime by Elijah Ross. How much do those three-pointers help, whether they're coming from a senior on the team such as Tim Haas, a sophomore such as Elijah Ross?
Well, Elijah's was timely and huge, and he's getting a lot more confidence in his shot, and does a very good job of running our offense and using his handles and using screens and distributing to others. But he shows that he's capable of shooting it too, so he's difficult to guard. But yeah, I thought that Dalton Walker and Tim Haas gave us great minutes off the bench, and those are guys that aren't getting a lot of tick for us. And here we are a little short-handed, and they rose to the occasion. And you got a guy like Tim Haas, who, was a lone senior in the game tonight for us, and we're down the stretch here, of our season, and these games mean a lot. And so we put some extra weight on his shoulders, and I thought he came up big with some great energy. Him and Dalton hit some big threes, and especially when they were playing some of that zone in the first half, I thought that really helped us quite a bit because they did a good job of clogging down the lane. So those threes were critical, and certainly none more critical than Elijah's at the end of regulation.
And Coach, talking about your 11 players really playing a significant impact. 63 points came off of your bench out of the 95 points. Seeing how that depth is just really being a significant factor, knowing that it's a long road trip, how much do you see as that just a benefit, knowing that you can say, hey, Tim Haas, hop out there, Jeff Kelly, how much does that really benefit?
Well, it's great, and it's great for the guys because they trust each other, and they know that when they're subbing out, there's a pretty good player coming in. And we also know that regardless of if we have guys in foul trouble or guys hurt or guys sick or whatever the case, we have that next man up philosophy where we've got someone else that's ready to rise to the occasion. So when it's clicking on all cylinders like that, when we're sharing the ball, it makes it a lot easier to share the ball when you trust the guy you're passing it to. And so when you have a lot of guys that can put the ball in the hole, the ball gets moving a little bit more, and we saw that. And our assist turnover tonight was great, and very much indicative of the trust that the guys have in each other.
Just kind of to piggyback off of that, only 7 turnovers allowed on the night. You ended up having 4 steals too, as well as 4 blocks. So defensively, really doing a sound job and just had a lot of intensity. Seemed like you were going with a double team on Coulis, and then that was rotating as well. What did you see as just the significant factor out there on defense to only have, and on offense per se, for to have those connections, those crisp passes, and only allow 7 turnovers on the night?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I credit our defense too much when we give up 85 points. I'll look to the offense a little bit more at that notion. But I thought that limiting our turnovers in the second half was huge. We knew we had to take care of the ball. We came out in those first few possessions in the second half. We were patient. We passed the ball around, and we attacked the basket, and we got some easy ones, And I think that patience, when we have success through patience on the offensive end, the guys trust that a little bit more. And, I think 5 of our 7 turnovers were in the first half. So cleaning that up in the second half and making a few more free throws in the second half, certainly helped.
And Coach, last question for you. It was a battle back and forth. We've talked about that a lot, just a back and forth kind of game. With that kind of tempo out there, how do you find the rhythm? How do you, as far as like set the pace for your team just to get in the rhythm of things and get the offensive going?
Well, that's fun. Those games are fun for us, when both teams are getting up and down a little bit, and you don't worry about the score really so much. You worry about executing, and you worry about trying to make things as difficult as possible on the other end of the floor for your opponent. So, I thought that was I'm sure that was a great game to watch for spectators. Certainly it was a little bit stressful at times for us, but it was a fun game. Both teams competed very hard, and again, just to reiterate how proud I am of our guys for being resilient and not stressing out too much when we got down and being persistent with things. I thought that was great to see tonight.
And Coach, sorry, I said last question. I got one more for you.
Sure.
This game did just go into overtime, extra minutes there. No, it was only 5, but it seemed like longer than that. That adds fatigue to the players. Knowing that you are on the road this weekend, how much does that play a factor as far as going into the games tomorrow night against Black Hills State?
Well, when we play 11 guys, that helps, So, I haven't looked at the minute count, and I know we had a lot of guys logging a lot of minutes and playing hard, but the nice thing too is that it's a short drive up to Spearfish, and so we don't have a long trip on the bus right now. And again, I think the fact that we had 11 guys in and out of that rotation helped balance out the minutes and hopefully balance out some of that fatigue, and that's life in the RMAC. Black Hills had a tight game against Metro tonight, and I'm sure they got some guys on a shorter bench, which they're having to operate on right now, that they're probably having some fatigue as well. So we'll live with it, and then hopefully be able to turn the page tomorrow.
Well, there you have it from the head coach, Jeff Culver, of the men's basketball team. Mac Buckley here with the UCCS Athletic Network. Head coach Jeff Culver, thank you so much.
Thank you.